Now I know what you're going to say. Shoveling a couple of wheelbarrow loads of manure before breakfast is hard work, and yeah, it is hard work, but it keeps you in touch with what's going on in here, what's coming out of the back end of these cows, and it really doesn't take that long, and you really are able to do a good job in an important area, cattle health. Good morning, welcome back to Rolling Hills Farm. Dave here. It is a beautiful, cold spring morning. We've had a little cold snap. You can see I'm down in the calving barn with Lucy and Lorena, a little heifer born a couple of days ago. So a couple of videos ago we talked about our guide to successful calving and preparing for calving. Well, today we're going to talk about once those calves arrive and how we keep them healthy on Rolling Hills Farm. It takes a lot of work. You'll see this morning we've got two other cows in the one side of our calving facility, and the new calf is in a separate stall in the other side. And she'll stay in there for a few days until she's ready to go outside, and that will maybe be this afternoon to get turned out with the other calf that's come so far. These guys don't appear to be doing anything. They're going to be turned out now. Hey, you guys, look out. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. The first and most important step to keeping calves healthy is to keep this pen clean. You see, cows have been in overnight. They've made a mess. So for us, the tools of the trade, a wheelbarrow and pitchforks. And every morning, we'll give this pen a minor cleaning and make sure it's bedded down and ready for any calves that might be born in here. And you might ask why we use a wheelbarrow and pitchforks to clean this out when we've got a skid steer sitting right alongside the building. And it's really just, this goes fast. Starting up the skid steer is going to make kind of a big mess. I've got to move it through gates and get it into here. And the skid steer just, it doesn't really do a surgical job. Skid steer is good for moving a lot of material in a hurry. And I can get this barn clean with a pitchfork and a wheelbarrow in a matter of minutes, and spot clean it and retain a lot of the straw that's still good here. I'll spread lime in the wet spots to make sure that it's nice and dry and clean, and then put down more straw. Our bedding of choice is just regular old oat straw, and not for any reason other than the fact that we make it ourselves. We have a lot of it, and it's a good, clean bedding. So these cows are the ones that we feel are closest to calving. And you see they're out here with the round bale. And I like to come out and just get a look at them and make sure nobody's actually calving. And the goal here is to catch any of them as they begin to calve and get them into the calving barn much cleaner calving in there with the straw, and they're handy. We can assist them if they have any problems. Boy, she's an aggressive nurser.
Yeah, she's really.
I think she's on.
Oh yeah, she's on the back quarter. She's got that all. She's got that handled already.
This is a smart calf.
She's on the back quarter. She says, I don't need any help with that. I know where the boxes are.
Did you iodine her already?
Yeah, I did.
Certainly, it's iodine on the navel. Now that's the very first thing we do. But then we've got a couple of other supplements. We've got a supplemental optimizer gel, which is colostrum base, that they get the weight amount. And we give them a first defense. Basically, it's a big pill. And it gives a variety of immuno boosts to the calves. Antibodies, you know, we're always worried about them picking up, in this case, coronavirus or E. coli from the previous calves' manure. So that gives them just a little bit of a boost. And then they all get an ear tag right away. And for a normal calf, that's what Dawn's kit includes. But beyond that, there's a thermometer for taking their temperature, which is key, the stethoscope for listening to the lungs, and a variety of other tools, and our weigh tape, which allows us to estimate the weight of the calf. And so this regimen is given to everybody newborn. And in addition to that, after a few days, bull calves will be banded using that tool and these little rubber bands to make him a steer calf. And we choose to do banding rather than castration. We just find it to be easier and less stressful on the calves. You know, your option would be to wait until they're older and castrate them, but that involves more potential with flies and heat for infection. And we think banding is an easier, safer strategy. So it's finally starting to dry out a little bit after the rain we got, but you can see we still have a mud situation here on the drive that we put in last year for the maternity pen. You can see we put a culvert and rocks with dirt on the outside of the pen, but on the inside of the pen there was just kind of a natural high spot that I thought would remain dry, and boy, you can see by the tracks it's saturated with water. Holy cow, that mud is worse than I thought. We may end up having to feed from the other gate. We're going to end up changing all this once calving season is over and once this area dries out. We're going to end up having to get a culvert and put a culvert here and sort of a rock bridge over top of it to allow this water to flow to the north down to the ditch over there and ultimately to the creek that way. More calves to come, and it's the biggest problem, like I said, is disease passed from the earlier calves or bacteria onto the later calves. So it's something that we'll continue to work over the coming days. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it gives you some ideas, at least of how we do things. You know, everybody's got their own style, their own ideas, and scale makes a difference. It's a lot easier to handle, you know, 10 to 15 calves than 100. These nice warm spring days are great for calves. Now we just need some more calves. Well, and thanks for watching. So far, a very successful calving season. Lots more to go. And as it continues to dry out here, we're going to be in the field very soon. I was walking our next oat field yesterday, and it looks pretty dry. We're just days from being able to do a little disking and get in the field and seed oats. Back with all of that very soon. We'll talk to you then. Well, you can hear the spring peepers and frogs in a little pond right here, and boy, you can see how low the pond is. It's an indication of how dry we are. But the field is very close to ready to seed. Just a few wet spots right over there that are going to hang me up. I think we'll be here, in the next week. We'll be seeding, depending on how much rain we get in the next few days. We'll be seeding oats yet in April. It should be an early start to the farming season 2026.